What's up, everybody? It's me, Will, and we're tackling the new M Night Shyamalan movie, Split. Shyamalin? Shyamalin Ding Dong? Whatever. However you say his last name, we're tackling it here. Is it funny? Is it going to be a new hilarious M Night Shyamalan terribly bad movie? Or is he back to a return of form? We're going to find out here on The Will West Show.
Knock, knock, open up the door. It's Will!
So, Split. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw previews for this movie, I kind of rolled on the floor laughing. I was lolling like crazy because we have Professor X pretending he has multiple personalities. Because that's the plot of the movie, guys. There's this guy, Kevin, who has 23, potentially 24 multiple personalities who all like get the spotlight at one point or another. We have, like, this is what sent me over the edge when I saw the previews. Seeing him act like a prim, proper old woman. He's like, oh, don't worry. The others are not allowed to touch you, like stuff like that. Or when he's being a little kid, because he actually gets to be a little kid called Hedwig for all you Harry Potter fans. He's like, oh hey, I'm Hedwig, what's up? Stuff like that. Like he wasn't playing special; he was just playing an actual 9-year-old kid in 30-year-old body or whatever, however old James McAvoy is. And after I got over that initial goofiness of like the personalities being introduced, James McAvoy kind of brought it with all the personalities that we got to see. Just a slight spoiler, guys. We don't get to see all of the personalities, but we do get to hear like name drops, or like we get to see all the names of all the personalities at different points or another. And we get to see maybe like, I would say maybe half a dozen of them. So if you were expecting to see all of them, if that was your main drive to go, then obviously like this movie may not be for you. But if you want to see a good story being played out, this movie actually is pretty solid. At one point, one of the personalities takes over James McAvoy's body and kidnaps 3 girls. We saw this in the previews. We knew that was kind of going to be like the main driving force, and they're kind of like our insight into like what's going on with the personalities and like what's going on, because they're learning stuff. Like they're kind of like our window into what's going on here. One of the main characters, the one we got to know the most, is Katie. She's actually also having flashbacks to another previous event during this too. Things that will maybe actually help her get out of this situation and help her and her friends get out of there. Surprisingly, the flashbacks work pretty well here. Like her dad and her uncle are hunters, so she was learning how to outsmart deer. So James McAvoy's character is kind of like the deer here. Like she's trying to like figure out like what's going on with the personalities. Like, do they all remember stuff? Do they like leave notes to each other? Stuff like that. Like I need to figure out like how to trick the personalities to turn against each other. And it's actually pretty solid. But a few of them are, I don't know if I mentioned this, but a few of them are like super like religious. They're super spiritual. Like they're not worshiping like Arceus or God or anything or whatever like your traditional things are. They're worshiping another personality called the Beast. Like you've heard hints of this in the trailer. They haven't really called it by that name in the trailer, but they said like, oh hey, the someone coming, you're not gonna like it. Like that's the thing they're talking about, the Beast. And it's actually kind of like terrifying to imagine this thing because there's another character that they introduced too early in this movie, the therapist of Kevin, that's the main character's name, who has the personalities in them. And she's actually done a lot of research into this, and I don't know if there's any fact or any truth to this at all, but she said like the body's able to change its chemistry based on the personalities. Like one of McAvoy's personalities is actually diabetic, so it's implied it's a girl personality, but apparently James McAvoy's character like has to inject insulin at that point just to like survive and like be normal in that state. And she even brings up other characters, like another patient of hers who is blind, but then she has a personality who isn't blind. So like that's actually an interesting concept. I don't know if there's any truth to that at all in real science or any medical stuff, but if that's an actual thing, like that's actually kind of weird and kind of interesting. And it's like cool, like a thing to explore. I'm not gonna lie, I had like little to no expectations about this movie. I was just happy I got to go to a screening finally, and I thought, best case, it's hilarious like The Happening, and even on the other side, I was like, best case, it's really great like The Sixth Sense or Unbreakable. And it actually like found its way over here with Unbreakables and The Sixth Sense. And I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna rate this bad boy, and guys, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. It's pretty solid. There's a few things that kind of take me out of it, like the initial goofiness, but it's probably at this point, like up in the few movies I've seen this year, it's getting up there. If nothing else contends against it, it's pretty solid. So guys, a little spoiler alert right here. I'm going to do another video about this movie because there's some crazy reveals. We all know M Night Shyamalan does crazy twists, And who knows, I may actually go see this again because of the twist in this. But I'm going to do like some initial thoughts on the spoilers and then just initial movie reviews and just stuff you expect from this channel. But what do you guys think? What's your favorite M Night Shyamalan movie? Or Shyamalin Ding Dong? Or your favorite M Night Shyamalan movie comedy? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, guys, when there's a will, there's a way. Thanks for watching.